If you're looking to take home a new four-legged friend, our good friends over at Lucky Puppy Rescue are holding an adoption event on site today next to Gate B, featuring some adoptable dogs and more information about their rescue. Stop by today from noon to 3 p.m. That's next to Gate B. And we have the inaugural Corgi Cup at Saratoga Racecourse today. Make sure you're out on the apron after races 3 and 5 to watch the qualifying heats, and then you can catch the championship after our 7th race.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 24, Talking Horses. Maggie Wolfendale, Andy Serling on a glorious day here.
Beautiful.
Coming off of another fun Saturday here. Any thoughts on the big races yesterday, or any races?
Well, I thought Flavian delivered a picture-perfect ride on El Cordobés. And, going back to the Saratoga Oaks, amazing. Laura Lynn stays undefeated. The confidence that Kendra Carmouche has in that filly, and Graham Motion as well, taking graded stakes
She destroyed
coast
those
to coast.
horses. She literally.
She threw wide the whole
what
way
did
and
Graham
just
win
was
in
like,
California?
completely forgetting. I just saw some random tweet and thought I'd bring it up and had no foundation as to why I brought it up.
Go blame Sunday.
I know.
Maggie's got a very big day ahead of her today.
I do.
She is really. You are basically. Are you the MC of the Corgi races today?
No, I think that's kind of like, Frank is calling them.
Okay.
But I'm the color.
You're the master.
I'm the color.
The master of ceremonies for
Exactly.
the whole event.
Yeah.
I, for one, think it's going to be great fun.
I do too.
And I am the biggest cynic in the world and complain about everything, but I'm all for things that people find fun.
I love little dog racing. Like, little dog, because they just, and corgis are pretty cute when they run.
What kind of
'cause
dog?
they're-
George.
George is a Jack Russell, and now
Wait.
Anjay's a Jack Russell. And they have Jack Russell races too, which I am serious about training Anjay to be one.
So that's why you said something about next year you want Jack Russell races. Is
Correct.
that so? It was a selfish thing. Maggie's dog
Yep.
George died this week, and
What?
Not this month. This year. This past year.
Past year,
And
yes.
everybody missed George. Everybody loved George. Maggie was grumpy for about a month. She yelled at me one day when I said, "What's going on here?" And you yelled at me, but that's okay. No,
We
no.
did have a very rough
We-
6 months.
we
and
love George.
George going was, whew,
He was a member. He
rocked
was a
my
member of
socks.
your family and also the Naira family. He
Yep.
came into office and
Yep.
everybody loved George. Even I like George.
I know, and Andy doesn't like dogs.
I don't like
so.
anything. No, I don't mind dogs, but George was great, right? And you have a
yeah.
you have a replacement.
Anjay, yeah. He's a happy-go-lucky. He loves everybody and anything. And yeah, he's been a welcome member of the family.
Excellent. And obviously, we don't want to talk about yesterday without bringing up yesterday's last race. And understandably, people are upset about it, and it's totally understandable. We are working on a statement to be released from the stewards about the situation. If it comes out during the show, I will read it later on the show. But I do want to say that when we do the stewards segment on Wednesday, which is available pretty quickly on YouTube, the stewards will be discussing the incident in yesterday's last race. We don't want to gloss over it, but we're waiting for a statement and to sit up here and opine on it myself when, it is what it is, but we will be discussing it. As I said, I'll read the statement if it comes out during Talking Horses. Otherwise, we'll be putting it up on Twitter and be talking about it. But Wednesday's Stewards Review, it will be addressed. Given that, head over to Naira Bets. Use the promo code SPA200, and we'll match the $200 of your initial deposit. Play with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. 30% bonus on pick threes at Monmouth. Opt in for that if you're playing Monmouth. We have a 10,000 hit and split on our late pick five. All 10,000 here are late pick five. Already opted in over that at Naira Bets. I'm guessing cross-country pick five coming up next. 2 at Monmouth, 3 here, including the Mahoney Stakes, named for the Mahoney family. Our friend Pat Mahoney passed away this year, of course, and Pat worked with us for many, many years. Always a stake that I find very, very meaningful. I was close to Pat. He was, not only were they and incredible contributors to the parimutuel industry and to the New York Racing Association, where Pat worked for many years. Pat was a good friend and somebody I had the utmost respect for, and I think that could be said for everybody that worked with Pat. That'll be today's 9th race, the Mahoney. We have Taste New York Pavilion. Head on over there. You better go over because you can't get back there till Thursday, so you can't come Wednesday. So get over there, check out all that good stuff from New York State, near Gate A and the Family Zone. We've got, here it is, the Corgi Cup. So what is it? There's 4 heats?
4 heats. Top 3 from the 4 heats come back in the finale.
And now, Leduc
There's
and I
5.
discussed making book on the races. I don't know if we're setting up anywhere, if that's really legal, but...
One fun thing, there's actually a senior dog that is partially paralyzed that will be competing in a wheelchair.
Really?
Yeah, or a doggy chair, if you will.
That's awesome.
I know. I'm going to root her on.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And once again, if people are enjoying it, they start at 2:30. Anything for people to enjoy here. And
Oh, and Jenna. Jenna has an entrant as well.
She is involved?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does this count towards her trainer stats?
I'm sure she's hoping not.
Oh, really? Okay.
No,
If she wins,
well, Mando,
she would like to include it.
I think Mando's a little bit green. I was training with him the other day, and probably will need a start.
You were training with him. I'm not even going to ask what it means for you to be training with him. I'm conjuring up all sorts of insane thoughts. And I think the show is next, and that's 2:30 FS1. We're on FS2 from 1 to 2, 2 to 6 on FS1, and the final half hour on FS2. Race number 1. We're going to start by showing... Maggie is betting against the number 1A Worthy Charge. We'll show the start of the race last time, and this horse broke a little slowly. This is a horse that had been working very, very well last year, came back, and this was a race that was completely dominated up front. The horse didn't break that sharply, got sort of shuffled back towards the back of the pack, and made a powerful run to finish 3rd, beating a length. Why do you not have this horse on top, Mag?
I wanted a horse with foundation of going long. Yes, I 100% think that Worthy Charge wants to go this distance of this, dog-legged mile because it was a race filled with horses, and there were several first-time starters, including himself, that just looked as though they wanted to go further. And obviously, the horse who won in here, Fort Nelson, had experience, but was coming back off of a layoff. I have a lot of respect for Worthy Charge. He is the likeliest winner, but I just thought that Chillax at least had a bit more foundation. I'd rather take a horse turning back than
Show the
trying to
race at
stretch out.
Chillax last time out. My problem with Chillax is that he seems to be a bit of a hanger.
Yeah, but blinkers go on today, and I think that exact point is why because he runs in spots. You see his head, he's kind of looking in, he's looking out now, and I agree, he wants to hang on this horse here, Classicist, who we'll see coming up in the last race, too.
He may just be a very good horse, by the way.
I also agree with that.
Yeah.
Look, his numbers are consistent. His last 3 make him a likely winner in the face of Worthy Charge, or a viable entrant. And I just think that Chillax with the blinkers on, taking a little bit of a cutback in distance. Because two, he also got a little rank as well down the backside and just was running in spots. So a little less ground, a little faster pace, maybe, I think will help him.
Okay. Fun to tap.
Fun to tap. This is a horse that I feel like, obviously being a $1.2 million yearling purchase, they probably had some high hopes for him. And he ran in his second start a 78, which if there's just natural improvement from 2 to 3, that would make his numbers right there in line with Chillax and Worthy Charge. And furthermore, he was beaten by Cyclone State, who would win his next two, including the Jerome 2 starts ago, 2 starts after that. He was preparing with Mindframe. He was working with him leading up to this. But I will say there was nearly a month gap in his works from June to July. He has had 3 since then leading into this one. Don't love that, but he's still dangerous given connections, given, just kind of what they thought of him going into this.
I thought the horse that might be an alternative to the top 2 is the 7, because Momentum Files was wide last time against a gold rail. The stumble at the break was pretty meaningless. It was one of those sort of mild thing going forward and didn't seem to have any real effect in performance. But I thought being wide might have affected, and it did come up a pretty fast race, and a race that Barb legitimized in the next race.
Running second in a maiden special weight up here. So, I know. I left him out. I was a little intrigued by the first-time starter Vermont on the inside limo, a son of Uncle Mo. Now, the dam, she only won on the synthetic, and the second dam was all turf. So it was actually much more of a turf family on the bottom. But
I wondered if we'd see this one on the turf.
Right, but Bill has placed this horse, at least in the mornings, with some serious horses from his barn, including 2 back with Parchment Party, and before that with Ragtime. So I know he's had a plethora of workouts leading into this, and it's kind of like, I don't know if he's hedging a bit as to where he belongs, but I thought he was a little intriguing. He's held his own okay against some pretty talented barn mates.
All right, see what happens in race 1. Looks like a fairly loaded field of maidens in race number 1. Race number 2, a couple of scratches. I don't think they were major players in race number 2. Did we just lose sound, guys? No?
No.
Is it? Okay. Let's start with Who's the King towards the outside, who wired last time and was claimed out of that race. I thought he just found the right field, Maggie, and I didn't really want this horse in this spot. Going a mile and 1/8, though. We'll see. He'll probably clear with Jose.
See, I thought there's some other horses to keep him honest. Like First of His Name, and he's gonna and Timaeus isn't that slow either. So I thought his job got a little bit more difficult, especially from that outside post position. I looked up horses claimed from Safi Joseph. Just in general, 48 for 333 with a negative ROI.
Yeah, I looked up on the dirt claim from. They're 24 for 134. I think 18% with a $1.19 ROI. In routes, they are 13 for 51, though. In dirt routes, 25%, $1.61 ROI.
Right.
So they've done okay. Not obviously not great. I'm not thrilled with this horse either. We can show, though, the horse you have on top, Legree. We're going to go back a ways to January 27th at Fairgrounds. The last dirt non-marathon race, where I agree. I think he runs back this race. He's the horse to beat.
He's just been facing so much better horses than what he meets here today. I know he wasn't really involved in that Malarchuk Digital Ops race. I mean, Digital Ops nearly won the Birdstone when stretching out. So
nearly didn't get my money.
Against Parchment Party. And I just think Legree is, at the end of the day, the class of the field, and maybe
feels
it's
like
negative.
a get claimed, win a race for Al, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's what Al does when he comes up here.
Al's, in my opinion, as sharp a trainer as there is out there. I think he's extremely shrewd. He's been Al's a guy who's been coming up here a long, long time, and every summer he has winners up here, and it's not an easy thing to do. And you see the starters he's had; they've been live for the most part. I have no argument. I think this horse is the horse to beat, but I just kind of want to bet on the number 6, Left Him Behind, who has been facing better horses. You know, you look at some of the horses that he's been running against. Gets a significant rider change here to Romero Mirage. He's got figs fast enough, and I just looking for somebody at a slightly bigger price. I have no problem with the one. He's the horse to beat, but he's going to be pretty short, and I thought I'd take Left Him Behind as a slightly different option.
Okay.
Not a fan?
I mean, I have him 4th. He was just kind of the other horse. The top three are the ones that I mostly wanted. I definitely want Glagrease and Timaeus, whom I think just faced way better horses in his last start, and he's caught 2 wet tracks, back on a dry one today. He might not stack up from a figure standpoint, but I thought that, again, that last race might be a little bit better than what it looks like on paper. There were 5 next time out winners coming out of there.
Yeah, I hear you. The problem is his last dry track race, he lost to Tomicon, and you wouldn't bet Tomicon in this field.
Yeah.
No, that's my biggest problem with him. We'll move on to race number 3, and you know, I was surprised looking at race 3. It's people at DRF and Mike Beer and David Aragona are not only friends of mine, 2 people I have the utmost respect for. And nobody seems to like this horse, Warolo. And I realize that the bloom's off the rose with him. I don't think he'll be 2-1. If he's 2-1, I think they're giving money away. Why is he not once again the horse to beat? To me, this horse has just been terrific. And Set came back. He ran 3 Beyer points worse. But if he runs a 91 Beyer in here, isn't he probably going to win?
Yeah, 100%. I have a lot of respect for Warolo. I loved him when he was 8-1 that day. 2 back and trying the turf for the first time. I'd always wanted him to be on the turf.
Yeah, Chris Englehart was teasing me when I ran into him coming in, and he said, I deserve all of your abuse, basically, for not running him on the turf. I said, well, it's not like you didn't win some race in the dirt with him, Chris. He has made a lot of money.
He had been okay on the dirt, going back to 23 and 24. So, yeah, I don't mind him, Andy. I thought there could be some horses to give him headaches, considering, and this is splitting hairs, but considering it's now 5.5 as opposed to 6, I thought there were some horses that could keep him company on the front end.
But why do we assume he needs the lead? He did stop
doesn't.
2 races back,
He did.
And he's got a win rating on the dirt going back, so I'm not sure he needs the lead here. And as we show the horse, actually won't show in Nate, my problem with the horse that you picked is, I'm sorry, but you missed the wedding on this guy.
No, I liked him last time.
Regardless, if you're betting him today, you missed the wedding.
I get it. I think there isn't a lot of upside when you speak of the price. I agree. But I think there's upside when you talk about the horse. As he is a sprinter. He's only done it twice in his career. The other only time was his first start in Ireland when he was a 2-year-old, early on as a 2-year-old, and I think he's just gotten better. And I agree, his hand's a little forced. The waters get deeper here. He's not running against Beer, Run, and Snare. He's running against some much more accomplished rivals. But I do like Innate, and I'm purely just taking him because I like the horse.
Okay. I thought Tap to Mischief was dangerous. We'll take a look at his win in the turf. He did beat Credit Worthy, who proved to be a pretty talented horse in subsequent races. And, they ran him on the dirt. They had off the turf last time. He actually ran pretty well on the dirt. And it's just, to me, maybe he's moved a little forward. I thought he was the biggest danger to the favorite.
Okay.
Not a fan?
No, it's not that I'm not a fan. I looked at it. He is probably a turf horse, 100%. And he was able to get the job done at first asking, which you don't often see Bill's horses necessarily doing. It's not kind of his MO. So he's a talented horse. The lack of starts now, even though he's a 4-year-old, bothers me just a bit. And I thought, some of these other horses that, look at Irish Gent, who ran an 85 at the tail end of his 2-year-old year. Isn't there a little bit more upside other than the fact it's a near 2-year layoff?
Right, that's the problem. The problem, obviously, if this race for Irish Gent was November of 24, I might have flirted putting him on top in this race. But he's 3-1 in the morning line. A lot of people are going to look at it and not even realize it's actually 21 months, not 9 months. And I don't need short prices. Now, I know Chad Brown won. That horse was 7-2 the other day off a 2.5-year layoff. I still wouldn't have bet that horse. No, I wouldn't bet that. They run the race back. I think the 8 would have won. But regardless of that, I'm not going to start playing these horses. I agree with you. But I think when you're saying routine improvement, you're talking about a different animal when they're off for almost 2 years. That's all. And obviously, he ran very well last time. I'm not denying that at all.
My only counter to that is that it's turf sprinting. And I find that these horses just don't need to be 100% fit to be competitive. If the talent's there, if they're sound and they're happy, then they can run.
Okay.
And he finished ahead. It works for me.
I understand all those things. Yeah. I don't want the intangibles of this horse. I hear you. I don't want any part of this horse. But
cool.
I just don't want this horse off a 2-year layoff.
I saw David liked Great Lilo.
Yeah, I think he needs to be committed.
I understood what he was saying once I read his analysis, because when he tried the turf, he early last year, he wasn't as good as he has become. And those 5/8 races at Gulfstream, I mean, horses just routinely get run off their feet, and he looks like a big horse. He was down on the inside. He didn't look comfortable. Once he extricated himself out a bit, he kind of came on a little bit more. I don't know if he's the speed, because I always find it difficult to translate that dirt speed to turf.
I find it difficult to put John Velasquez on the lead in a 5.5 furlong race. He's rated some speed horses so far this meet, so maybe he goes, maybe he doesn't. I think David's out of his mind. I respect David as much as anybody in the game, but I think this is a ridiculous pick. But if he wins, I will be the first one to text him and tell him great pick.
Okay.
I think he's out of his mind. I think After Taxes is dangerous here. I'm always scared of Wesley Ward. See, I'm scared of his horses improving. Seems like he comes here and they're all well meant. Now, this is a tough spot. We'll see what happens here. Listen, from our conversation, this is a fairly wide open race. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
in race
I think you
number
could make
3.
a case for anybody in there.
Race number 4. Race number 4. I have a replay for Epic Desire last time in the dirt, running second and trying the turf. This horse does have a smidgen of turf pedigree. This is an Uncle Mo. The dam did produce a turf winner. But I will tell you one thing. This horse and the Lady Eli foal who won, they better be a lot better on the turf, because they timed this race with a sundial.
Yeah, it was really slow. And to me, I don't think he has enough. He doesn't have enough turf pedigree.
I agree.
To make me want to take him on top or ahead of some others
He
in
should
here.
have won this race if he was any good. I'm
Exactly.
sorry.
Going
I
7/8, he is that full to Adair Manor. It was a multiple rated stakes when they're going long on the dirt.
I love Adair Manor.
Me too. And two, I watched his turf breeze going back to, albeit it was June 20th, so we're dealing with nearly
20th, okay.
And I don't think he was going as well as Malice, who won an off the turf race beating Final Score.
Right. And Final Score, the second dam was good turf on Final Score, to be fair.
Yes.
The first generation
None of the
is
siblings
dirt
haven't
and
really
none of them ran.
tried it.
I mean, but there's a not this time, so I'm not going to be surprised when this horse
And
runs
like,
well.
I could be wrong. My notes say I thought he looked more like a sprinter overall. So
It's also 5-2 on the line. You really want to bet this horse at 5-2?
gosh, no. There's a world in which he's like able to wire this field, because he might have more speeds than some of the other ones in here. But I couldn't resist Here's Johnny, because I really loved him first time out. But I knew he's not a dirt horse.
He's got
And race horses improve
ton
so
of turf
much.
pedigree. I agree.
He's a full to world beater who just won the Saratoga Derby.
I agree. I didn't pick him on top, but I agree. I didn't pick him on top because he's 3-1 in the morning line, and the one is 10-1 in the morning line.
Do you think the one will be 10? I mean, I guess he could be.
It's hard to know. It depends how
Yeah.
much money Todd's horses take. You know what I mean?
Right.
It depends how much money the
That's
3
the
takes.
thing.
But in my experience, David's right and I'm wrong. So in the morning lines,
Yeah.
So I don't
looked
put
at
it this
that,
way.
I was
And
like-
when David's wrong, I'm still wrong. So I'm not going to question it. But this horse is a half to 2 turf winners, including Raining Flowers. They stayed in on the dirt. It's almost like they wanted to go a race. At least the horse showed some speed. It's not like the horse had absolutely no running. I'm a John Ortiz fan, so I'm betting Golden Rule today.
And looking at him, he's all turf. So I think this is a spot where he can be very effective. For me, it was all 3-1.
No
the
boss,
two-
Nuss Henry. I mean, he's a gun runner, but it's a lot of turf from the dam side.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. All right.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't, he can win. He's from Chad Brown's barn. But
I don't know anything about anything. I don't.
I'm not saying you do.
No, I
I
know
just
you
don't like
I
gun
know you
runners
don't,
on the
I know.
turf.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't either. I'm with you on that. All right, we good? Race 5? Mm-hmm. Race 5, I also have nothing, though I did put Memorized on top, an $100,000 horse, the half to Zandon. But he's a half to Zandon, but nobody else in that family was a runner, so that bothered me a little bit.
Market, what is her name? Oh, God. The gray turf filly that just ran here had a bit of a troubled trip earlier in the week. Market.
I'm having trouble remembering yesterday.
Man,
much
I
less
know.
earlier
I'm
in
glad
the week.
I'm not the only one.
These things slip
But anyway,
out, in and out
it
of
is.
my brain.
There's a gray filly that was favored. That Griselle.
The 5 horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 5 horse in the race
Sorry.
that Griselle won. I bet
Yeah.
the second horse. I'm still annoyed about that.
Yeah, she finished third. Anyway, she's a turf horse. but you could argue that Memorize has the best sire, but also a sire that suggests that going
More
longer
distance. But it's 6.5 first time out.
would be better. And that's kind of what I got watching her workouts. Now, as I always say, if they're good, they can win at any distance first time out. But I just thought that she might get a little outfooted here.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't really have a strong opinion in this race, obviously. The 5 Essential Coffee, I put second, you left out. We'll show the first race where she was disqualified. I don't know, because, I mean, she got a 56 buyer first time out, and then she stunk in the debutante. And, you know, I don't think, I mean, it's Steve, and I'm going to be surprised if she doesn't show up, because I always expect Steve horses to show up. Having said that, it feels like, even if she builds in this and gets a 68 to 70 buyer, isn't there going to be somebody better? By the way, Danny Gargan, that first-time starter for Dean Reeves, got an 86 buyer.
Yeah,
But John and I were talking about it, and Tom's horse got a 79 buyer, something in defeat. That was a was
a fast race.
That was a very, very impressive winner. That horse was really good.
Yeah,
wow.
he really was. And so Essential, you know, I went back and watched. I'm like, won by 8.5 lengths and was DQ'd. I actually agreed with it.
I don't remember what I think I watched at the time.
He totally cut off Sapphire Beach, who literally like dropped back by 5, and then suddenly within not even a 16th of a mile was right back on her heels again. So there's every argument that it could have been different.
What do you think the over/under is? A number of people on Twitter that said it was the worst disqualification of all time.
I mean, they're all.
It's got to be at least 200 or 300, right? It's got to be at least. So you got, speaking of Danny Gargan, you have Sylvain on top.
She just, I mean, look, Danny turns the screws, but they come over fit. And watching her in her last breeze, she was being led by a 3-year-old colt who's already a winner, Landman Friday. She actually they went around another horse who was going slower breezing, and she ducked to the inside and went on by him, galloped out really well. There's not much pedigree to lean on, and I totally get that.
David has the horse 5-2, so he must like the works too.
The workouts are very good.
Right.
Yeah. And then Carmel Coast, I found a little bit intriguing. Omaha Beach, you know, he's good with his 2-year-olds. There is a lot of turf.
A lot more turf. That bothered me. I've got.
I agree. I liked her breezes coming in here. It was funny. I did my 2-year-old report on her. Whit Beckman is fabulous, and he said, yeah. After we got done, he's like, yeah, she's all right, but you came for the wrong horse. He has one that's debuting next week.
Okay. I'm going to say something, aside from the respect I have for you just in general, but I was very impressed by something that you did last week. You did one of your reports on the Will Walden horse. And then after the report, the horse was in the paddock, and you said, I think this horse needs a race. And I think that got lost in there, because a lot of people might do something like that and want to promote the horse that they talked about in the segment, but you have the integrity to say, I don't want this horse today. And I was very impressed that you did. I'm always impressed by you, but I just want to say, you don't,
well, thank you.
You know, I give you a lot of credit, because a lot of people would be afraid. You have no fear, and a lot of people would be afraid to come on and say, I know I just did a report on this horse, I don't like this horse today, and you did that.
And I mean, even Will kind of said it in the piece, too. You know, sometimes our conversations are much longer than what you see as it's edited down for air. But he kind of said it to me as well. And I go out and I look at these 2-year-old reports, namely for horses I like, but secondly for stories, for people we don't often see from. That horse had a monster pedigree as far as, you know, being the dam being half to Minding and Tuesday.
The second dam was very, very
huge.
Good. She has not produced that dam.
Like I said, I went out, I talked to Whit. I thought this horse was interesting. Obviously, I could have gone and gotten Zandon's.
Do we know the name on the killer horse of his? Or have you forgotten it like I forget everything?
Yeah.
Hero something?
Heroes. Oh, God.
Look for a Whit horse that might have Hero in it. Bother Maggie on Twitter.
Massive horse.
Should we take a break? Come back with the late
maybe it'll come to me.
We'll be right back. Quick message.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Maggie Wolfendale and Andy Serling. Race number 5. What?
Found out. Hero declared.
Hero declared. Okay. I'll forget that. I won't remember it by 12:30 today. I will have forgotten that. But Sean is busy writing it down if he's watching the show. Race number 6. Not a lot of form to go on, and you and I have gone to the same horse. So talk about Arches Assault.
The drop down, right? Everybody looks pretty similar on paper, Andy, don't they? And you're talking about a horse that in his 5 starts has only been on the turf twice, has run the best figures on the surface. Last time out, terminal velocity, jumped out, wired the field. He was coming off a little bit of a layoff. He was
Ran well
acting up
yesterday.
in the gate. What?
He ran well yesterday.
Oh, right. So it's another thing to like. He was coming off a layoff. I thought he was a bit too fresh. Kind of, just wanted to do a little more in the early stages of the races than I think Ruben Silvera wanted him to. He gets Flavian Prat today, which I love Ruben. But
I thought the horse's debut
an
on the turf
upgrade.
too was good enough to be
Yeah.
competitive here. So, and obviously a good rider change from both times this horse ran on the turf. Particularly last year, but I agree. I just thought it was interesting. And the thing is, you start looking at these other horses in the race, like Spirit of the Law. Okay, I'm going to show his race from 2 back, and I do think he's very dangerous for Barkley
Right.
dropping down. But he also just cut the corner and got a perfect trip here. And what was his
Yeah.
excuse last time? He was
Bad.
awful last time.
I agree. I mean, yes, and experience
So
wired
what?
the field. But he should have done a little bit more running than that. I absolutely agree with you. Now he's going to have to do it from the far outside post here. Look, he's the other drop down, but for me, I much preferred Arches Assault. He's just been lesser exposed.
I agree. I'm going to use Rose Bay. I'm using Miguel's.
Huge
obviously, a big
pedigree, but
meet.
why are we offering him up for 50?
Is a homebred colt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe he's not much horse, but couldn't he win as not much horse in here?
Absolutely. I
And
mean, I
make your
have him in there
moment.
as respect to Miguel. Make your moment. I thought could be the lone speed in here. Maybe. I don't know. Is he?
I mean, I know Iron Max was better, but he's a speed on maybe with time for with the pace projector. I've just had enough of this horse.
I
sorry.
hear you.
I
mean, and he's
he
been
could
running
win,
at this
but-
level forever. So
Yeah, there was just nobody in here. I looked and looked and lost, and there was nobody here that did a lot.
There's
for
nobody
me.
sneaky.
So
Yeah.
I've got with you on the 5
logical.
Arches Assault in race number 6. Just missing anything there. I was talking to Joel after
I mistyped. That's supposed to be the 12, not the 2.
Okay.
Doesn't matter that
5,
much.
9, 12, 10.
Yeah.
I was talking to Joel after the stake yesterday, and it's just, the one thing that I think happened a little bit yesterday with the favorite, people have begun to realize that he has his quirks. Mm-hmm. And the riders were not
know.
letting Joel get the position he wanted, and they can once he was 3 wide after the race, and I thought Joel did the right thing in coming to the fastest finish line the first time, because it's like, if I don't extract myself from here, I have absolutely no chance to win. And then, as he said, when he tried to get the spot, they wouldn't let him get to the front. They wouldn't let him get to the inside. He was trying to do it, and I think it's partly because the riders are like, I'm not letting this horse get, and Joel's so
They're not
crafty and good at it.
supposed to.
No, but I really think, and I think
Yeah.
it's sort of a problem because he does have those quirks that everybody's kind of aware of it.
Yeah.
And in that case, they sort
They
of played
exposed
the
it.
hand
You're right.
that he couldn't really. I still think he's a terrific horse.
He
I
is.
just felt like yesterday he did not get close to his trip.
No.
And he is a horse
No.
that needs his
Needs
trip
his trip.
sometimes. Race
Yeah.
number 7. The horse to beat in race number 7 is probably the 3 who we both
Yes. Mm-hmm.
have second. My 2 Sophias. We'll show her running second last time with Harlan's Band running third. I don't have a knock on her. I just didn't want to take her at a short price. People are going to see Christopher Elliott to host Irad Ortiz, and she's just going to be a super short price. I'm not against her, but I didn't want to pick her on top.
No, exactly. And she does get blinkers on here. She's a little bit, or back on, I should say. She's a little bit of a quirky type. She acts up in the paddock quite frequently. I mean, 2 back, she had to have a shoe repair because she stepped on herself. So I thought maybe a tiny untrustworthy, but her races make her a major player here. She gets a good post position, and you know that she'll be effective at this 6.5.
And nothing against Christopher, but it is a positive rider change. I mean, it's not, it is Irad Ortiz, so it's not like it, and she's the worst to beat. What's the 5-2 story? I've had enough.
I hear you. Linda does have good numbers, with the 2-week layoff, route to sprint on dirt, 8 for 32, 2 $1.08 ROI.
Her turnback numbers are lousy. But,
Overall.
yeah. The highest enough percentage is just lousy ROI. But
Okay.
that's general. You did a specific one off the layoff. The short layoff.
Last time, nobody was beating Backstretch Rose, who was a massive drop down for Flying P and TT. And honestly, a mile and an eighth was too far for her. It was a sloppy track. Now she turns back. Just to turn back third off of a layoff, I thought, why not?
Okay. I hated her race 2 back. That's my bigger problem with her. I don't worry
She
about the
could've
last
needed
race
it.
as much. Yeah, maybe. Listen, I'm not going to be shocked by anybody. I like Valentine Gift here.
What?
You don't like Valentine Gift at all here?
I like Tom's other horse better.
Maggie's just
previous
mad because I
race.
picked her husband's horse and she didn't. And
No,
I'm just kidding.
I'm happy you picked her. If any of the two are winning, though, I believe it's Big Brown.
I like
Daughters.
picking up Ricardo Santana. This horse ran against significantly better horses in some of the races. I thought the race 2 back in the mud wasn't terrible for Tom. I've been waiting for this horse in the right spot, and I'm hoping today is the right spot. She's
Could be.
got some races that are good. They're not being the 3 if she runs her best race with IRAD, but I'm going to take this one as the one that can beat her.
All right, cool.
Anybody else?
No.
Wait, we have Dream on Kara.
Oh God.
Let's show Dream on Kara. Why not?
Right.
For people that fall for her, last time was the time.
Yeah.
She got the fast pace to run at.
I'll never be a fan of hers.
I'm mad at myself for not picking her on top last time. I'm better, but
Look, she ran well last time, and maybe it was just a kind of a turning of the corner. But as Gus said to me after the race, he was like, I said to the owner, I thought we could win if about 3 or 4 of them didn't show up. He got 3 or 4 of them not to show up, and she won.
2 for 30s are not likely to win back-to-back, but
Yeah.
she did run well last time.
She did.
Race number 6. I thought this was an 8. I'm sorry.
This race, I love.
I thought this was a very interesting race.
Very.
I want to start by talking about Mo Trump.
All right.
Because despite everything, this horse ran last time.
Did.
Now, this is a tougher field, but I'm going to tell you something. This was not a fluky win. I know there was rain before the race, but I don't think it really affected the way his race run. This horse, the whole field came to him, and he just ran away from at the end. I'm not sure this horse is an okay turf horse.
Yeah, I just took the angle of he'll have to show me again. He looks as though he very much could be the inside speed. I don't think there's, I think there's horses to lay close, but I think he can definitely get it if he wants it. We'll see what Rabia does with Arad aboard, coming back off a layoff. Maybe he's fresh and jumps out quickly. But, yeah, Mo Trump is in a position to be able to control again and could be dangerous if he just improves slightly over that last race.
Yeah, I've got him third. I don't want to bet him back. Ocala Dream. Aren't his best days a long time ago?
Here's my theory with my man, Cal. So a horse that I do have a soft spot for.
Tom had this horse for a little while, right?
Yeah, he won the Kingston with him.
Right. At a huge price.
Yeah, he was like 17-1. A horse that I used to gallop. And I just thought, watching him, I wasn't in the paddock for his first start for Bruce, but his last start I was, and he just looks better. He looks like the Ocala Dream of old. And I thought, now for Bruce, finally getting back to his preferred surface, maybe he could be effective here. He's not devoid of speed, which I like. He can lay close enough in here. And I think, getting back with the New York breds on the turf, I know he's run against cheaper at Gulfstream, but I really think Bruce has him going the right way.
Okay. I'm a big Bruce fan, so I have no problem with that. I think there's a lot of horses to talk about in this race.
I think there's so many horses that can win.
Slap in the Face, who I know he was terrible last time out, but he was
better
out
field.
in the middle of the racetrack the entire way around the track, and he second off a little bit of a freshening. I'm not going to completely ignore him for Tony. His horses have been really running. I don't want coinage. I know that he can win, but he's going to be forward in a race with pace, and I know he's getting a good rider change. I just wonder if this guy can run anymore at all. He was in a 20 claimer last time. I just wonder if he's any good anymore.
Yeah, that is fair. But he has only run against New York breds one time on the turf. That was in the Rick Violet, in which he was a 3-year-old. He ran an 81 buyer running third.
Oh, no, he's got races
I'm looking
in the
to
back.
resurrect some ghosts in this race.
Well,
I totally understand that, but
you-
I think they're going to be decent prices, obviously.
The horse I don't like that is the favorite on the morning line and you have second is Con Man. I'm not going to be shocked if I'm wrong, but I think there's a real question of whether he's any good anymore. It's been a while since he's run well.
Right. Last time I thought so often when watching Gulfstream races, wide trips do not win. I mean, you have to be so much the best. He was 3 wide the entire race. Beach Gold came back and won that, Arlington Million preview thing with a 97 buyer. He got bothered at the 8th pole. The rider, I think, overreacted a bit, so he lost some ground. Then he kind of ran on a little bit more towards the tail end. I'm willing to forgive him, considering that was his first start back in 10 months. So I totally understand your side of the argument, but I don't think that last race was as bad as it might appear.
Okay. I just have not seen him run particularly well in a while. I'm not saying he can't win, but 2-1 in this field, no thanks for me.
Russian Realm.
I'm betting Russian Realm here.
Yeah.
Russian Realm, I know the dam hasn't produced turf winners, but they ran buyers in the 70s. She was a nice turf horse who ran in the 80s. There's turf throughout the pedigree. And the day that this horse ran the turf, where she was 4-1, he was 4-1, it was pouring rain during the race. Nobody moved at all in that race. It was basically a total merry-go-round affair. Nobody could gain the I don't even think this horse ran that badly in there.
He didn't.
And now
he
he's going to get a chance on an actual turf course.
Yeah.
And he gets a huge rider switch to Joel Rosario for this race. I'm betting Russian Realm today. Maybe he's not a turf horse, it turns out, but I want to give him another chance in the turf.
I saw him the same way you see him as well.
We'll see what happens. So this is a very interesting race.
Very.
A lot of horses could win in this race. For time. Race number 9, the Mahoney, once again named for our good friend Pat Mahoney and his family, who were instrumental from day one in the entire parimutuel industry going forward. Very, very interesting. We'll take a look at Governor Sam beating Ortley Avenue and no evidence. I'm sorry, once Governor Sam showed that he could rate,
you became a super fan?
I mean, he was always talented. His Breeders' Cup turf sprint was huge. He ran great that day. And if he can rate now, I think these horses, I know he's going to be 2-5 or 3-5. I think this field is in a heap of trouble.
Yeah, I don't know. I foolishly probably put the 8 on top here. I thought there were some, as you like to say, intangibles that could improve him. But there's no doubt about it. I didn't put the 8 on top because I'm against Governor Sam.
Because
Let's
why?
put it that
yeah,
way.
no, I get it. You put him second.
Yeah.
But when we put horses second, we're not against them. We're just
At
looking
all.
for somebody else.
Yeah.
Right.
I just thought there were some interesting points with Gabaldon as he ran so well first time out, went to Ascot, did nothing
Did
to
really
embarrass himself,
No, he
ran
was terrific.
super. Then he's off, for the rest of the year due to bone bruising. He comes back. Reading the article by Dave Grenning, Jose D'Angelo has said that he made some noise. He did bleed, so therefore they did the tie-back surgery after that Texas Glitter race, and now comes back also as a new gelding. So I thought there were some things that if they work, they can improve a horse.
And to be fair, in his debut, he dueled with Governor Sam, and he beat him.
Put him away.
So
yeah.
I think that's fair. Okay. I didn't really get into it. I wasn't a huge fan, but I guess you could be right about it. What about Spiced Up? I know he got a good trip last time, but didn't he run pretty impressively in here? I mean, he's going to have to step forward, but I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, he was, but the problem is I don't love the race he comes out of.
I agree. He's going to have to get a lot
who
better.
is what, 0 for 20?
Don't knock Quando. I'm a big
I
Quando
heart
fan.
him. He is
I
like
got nothing
the
but love
coolest
for
maiden.
Quando.
But he's run his
Quando.
best races turf sprinting. He did Spiced Up, stretch out this field, which you like to see.
Yep.
And he won under wraps. Yeah, I mean, look, there's upside with this horse.
I think the interesting horse is Innovator going to Steve Asmussen. I think this horse is really, he did not run that badly in his turf sprints, and I think he could take a step forward for Steve. I'm going to try a 9-1 exacta.
Okay, I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
I don't know. I thought those races were okay. Well, looking at those races, they were okay. They're for 3-year-olds and up, and I thought he ran well enough in both of them.
Yeah,
I'm going to use him, and I don't mind the picking up Ricardo Santana, who's riding very well. Race number 10. This is a very, very tough race, and I'm really wondering what to do with Panda Gate in here, and we'll show you winning in the Albany. I put him second. I hope he comes back and runs well, but this is an awfully tough spot to be coming back off a layoff.
Right?
Yep. There's some potential tigers in here.
I know. In a way, I'd almost love to see him in a New York bred stake. Is there one? Yeah. I know.
Listen, he's a very talented horse.
Yeah,
But
and
he's got to come back off the layoff and deal with some other decent horses.
right,
They're
and
in good
his
form.
worst race was his last sloppy track. Obviously, something may have happened out of there. But, right, he needs to come back and show that he can hang with these. And look, when he was beating and winning, he was beating a decent horse. Look, Doc Sullivan is quite all right.
Oh, no. He's well, Doc Sullivan's better going shorter. To be fair. And
Yeah.
those races,
He's like a 6 furlong
he
to
ran
1 turn
those
mile.
route races because they were the right races to run in, but they were the wrong
Where
distance.
Pandagate wants every bit of 2
right,
turns.
Exactly. Tuscan Goal, we both picked him. Talk about him.
I couldn't resist. He's, I think, truly a 2-turn type. Last time he was inside. It was a day you wouldn't be inside, but it was kind of a race that nobody changed positions.
I agree.
So Blinkers going on. Chad has crazy good stats with many things, but Blinkers going out on in dirt routes, 25 for 72 with a positive ROI. So
yeah, I'm hoping he gets back. I was a big fan of this horse. I thought he was dangerous in the Preakness. He got the wet track, didn't help him, and I'm hoping he can get back. But I'll tell you something. Classicist, who you have second and I have fourth. I think he's very dangerous. I mean,
He was good
the horse
last
that was
time.
good last year as a 2-year-old.
And obviously
came
we'll
back and
get
got it done.
We'll get more intel depending on how Chillax runs early on the card as to where we can rank classicists
This
in
horse
this
might
field.
be okay. I feel like this is the kind of horse that could come back and win again for Todd. The numbers aren't
I
great
saw
doing
it.
that, but I still I have a feeling this horse is okay.
He's okay, and he definitely wants this distance. And the fact that he came back and showed speed and put a lot of gaps in that field, I think speaks to his talent, like you were mentioning.
I am going to have No Bien Nimal, the 8.
Okay, tell me.
What is he doing here? Like, what is he doing here?
I
And you- I
have
know you-
seen
and I love the
so many of these
Hofburgs.
Paulo Lobo horses, and I'm thinking, wow, this is interesting. And then they just don't run any good.
I have no idea. He may be so badly outclassed in this field, he may finish absolutely nowhere. I'm throwing him in.
Some
He
Uruguayan
just has the
form, I
look
like
of a
that.
horse that's coming in here, with a little bit of intention. I could be completely wrong. It's a total guess on my part. I just don't want this horse to win and pay $37 and go, what was he doing in this race? But the problem for him is he better be ready to run about a 90 buyer if he's going to win this race, and that's not going to be an easy thing to do because this is a deep field, and even Hop Sing, I wonder if Hop Sing's better not in the mile and eighth situations, but Hop Sing, he comes in a couple of posts with the scratches in here, and he's not bad. I just think this is too tough a field to take him.
Yeah, and plus he has to clear from that outside post position if he wants any part of
Or
the
at least
lead.
get in good position from out there.
Exactly. And I
But
feel
you've
like
got
there's
him
some
fourth.
other. I respect him, and then too, I think he might actually prove to be better given his pedigree, especially a curling out of a tap at mare, going the 2-turn
Right.
distance. He's built like that as well. So I didn't think he ran that badly last time
No.
out. Like I said, it was a merry-go-round race. And I don't have a problem with him.
No, you've got
He's
him
run
fourth. I don't
fast.
have nowhere. I agree. He's
Yeah.
going to be a price. This is an excellent race to close
It really
it out.
is. Wait a minute. I want to go back.
Go do whatever you want.
The race 2 back, where he did win a grade 3 with No Bien Ni Mal by 8 1/4. The second horse to be disqualified winning over 8 lengths. Do you know why?
I
it
heard
was
down in
DQ?
Brazil that was the worst call they've ever seen.
It was Brazilian Twitter
Yes,
exploding.
Brazilian racing Twitter went absolutely berserk. The worst call. How many? You know what? You know what? People on Twitter are worse than trainers and jockeys. Trainers and jockeys, the best horse I ever rode, the best horse I ever trained.
Yeah.
It changes from day to day and race to
yeah.
race. People on Twitter, every call is the worst call they've ever
yeah,
seen.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Impressive. Worst call I've ever seen will never change. Taking down the wrong horse in Alamuse. I'm sorry, I've seen some calls I disagree with. Some calls I'd say were bad calls. But taking down the wrong horse will hold the
Will
top
forever
spot
be
for
the
my
champion.
entire life. There could be a 1A if it ever happens again. But anyway, I've dug up, when that happened, I dug up an article Steve Christ had written about it, actually.
Oh, really?
It was a really, really good article he'd written
cool.
about at the Times. And I'll never forget a couple of things about that. Everybody was confused. The lights went out and all the power went off during the replay of the race. Oh, yeah. And shortly thereafter, Andy Beyer came down from the press box and said, they took down the wrong horse.
You sound just like him, too.
Miss Andy. Andy is recovering from back surgery.
Oh,
and
no, so
unfortunately,
he
we will
won't
not
come?
be seeing him this year.
Shoot.
Yeah. but hoping that he can get back next year. But
Yeah.
he's very disappointed. It's one of his.
We're all
big trip.
disappointed.
We are. I love seeing Andy.
He's
and
usually the last Saturday of the meet, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Well,
Jack
he
the
will
Coke
not
Captain.
be attending. We will miss him. Anyway, head over to Naira Bets. Use your promo code. The release did not come out. That is why I did not read it. So you know.
Okay.
Okay, just there is the Board of Stewards are going to issue a statement shortly on yesterday's last race, so that will come out. Like I said, if I'll be able to tweet it, I will. It's just not out, so we can't read it in the show. Anyway, head over to Naira Bets. Use the promo code SPOT200. We'll match with $200 of your initial deposit. We have the 30% bonus on pick threes at Monmouth. You're playing Monmouth. You want to opt in for that. I've already opted in. 10,000 hit and split. Late pick 5 here. Races 6 through 10. We have a cross-country pick 5, 2 at Monmouth, 3 here. We've got the Taste of New York, Thursday through Saturday, every week, 12 to 5. Check out all the good stuff made in the state of New York. The Corgi races. Maggie is getting very geared up for the Corgi race, as are all of us. 2:30 they start. 4 heats and then a final. And the show. 1 to 2 on FS2, 2 to 6 on FS1, and then the last half hour on FS2. Maggie, thanks. A lot of fun as always.
Absolutely.
Anything else going on?
No, other than I'm
Is there
really
another
hungry.
benefit to TRF coming up?
Yes, August 19th, so the Tuesday before the Travers. It is at Root and Riddle this year. Really looking forward to that. You can go to trfinc.org to get your tickets.
All right. Thank you for that, Maggie.
Thank you.
And, of course, the BCCA's fundraiser
Is
coming
the
up.
Thursday
that
before
Thursday,
Travers.
and Maggie and I are always involved in that and
Yep.
happy. And I'll be reading the kids. I got a couple more books.
Oh, somebody suggested that we should read together on a Tuesday.
Let me know.
Maybe this Tuesday.
I'd be happy. Any time I spend with you is time
Cool.
well spent.
Yeah.
Anyway, have a great day. Frank Miramati's just gearing up with a reprise, the scratches and changes. Enjoy a lovely Sunday here in Saratoga.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.